Top of the fifth inning at Phoenix Municipal Stadium here in the desert. And for the second time in this game, Willie Bloomquist has gone to his bullpen. Sean Fitzpatrick gives up 4 runs in the top of the fourth, and now it's the Texas A&M transfer, Lucas Kelly, who gets the ball to start the fifth. Mentioned Fitzpatrick getting his 8th appearance of the season. Kelly has had some appearances as well. This will be number 7 for him. And he threw in the midweek just an inning in his last appearance against UNLV. A hit, no earned runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. He's been pretty good. 1 inning in each of his 6 appearances so far. So again, not a guy that, like Fitzpatrick, will go a long way, but you have him now, and he'll face 2, 3, and 4. Josh Hankins, Mikey Bell, Tommy Eisenstadt. First pitch low to Hankins, a ball into his strikes. 5-4 Sun Devil lead. It was 5-0 until a 4 spot in the top of the fourth from Gonzaga. Kelly a low set, 1-0. Check swinging a ball in the dirt. He held up, and Hankins into a 2-0 count. Hankins a workhorse for Gonzaga last season. 51 appearances and 50 starts. Hit a .262 clip. 49 hits and 30 RBI. Only 2 home runs, though, so not a power hitter. Smacks this one the other way. It is down in right field. Dunking in on Kian Vu for a base hit. Strong turn at first from Hankins because the ball was well in front of Vu, but he holds out for a single. And how about a 2-hit day with 3 trips on base for Josh Hankins, the shortstop. He was in the 8 spot last night. It was 0 for 3 today. They put him up in the 2nd spot in the lineup. He has a walk and a pair of base hits. Turns it over for Mikey Bell. Cuesta College transfer, JUCO guy out of California. Swings out of his shoes on the first pitch from Kelly for strike 1. Bell has started all 12 of Gonzaga's games so far, including the one last night. The 0-1 gunned home from Kelly low and out. And the count, a ball into strike, nearly got by the backhand of the catcher, Briggs. Bell a strikeout looking his first time up, and then in the 3rd grounded into an inning-ending double play. With a little more success here. Kelly tosses in the 1-1, and it's fouled above everybody's heads. Back to the parking lot, the count 1-2. Temps have held steady in the mid-70s, 73 degrees today in first pitch. Sun is shining after some cold, chilly nights to start this series. It's been a welcome sight, and certainly the fans have come out in droves. This is by far the most attendance ASU has had this weekend. He pulls a ball foul just by the 3rd baseman Contrades and all the way down the left field line. Probably a little disappointing weather-wise for Gonzaga, who has played some home games so far up in the rainy and chilly Pacific Northwest. They come here probably hoping for some warmer temperatures. A check back to first, and Hankins is in safely. And what do they get? Rain and cold. First 2 nights. Ball and 2 strikes here on Bell. 0 for 2, looking to make it 1 for 3. Kelly set at the belt, deals home, and the pitch foul back. Count will hold at 1-2.
Wake up, Chuck!
Bell, the righty swinger. One of the 2 righties in the top 3rd of this lineup for the Zags. 1-2. Another one pulled and bounced foul left side, just beyond the Gonzaga dugout. Bell, a junior college transfer out of Fresno, California. Led Cuesta College last year with a .368 average in 45 starts. 13 home runs, so he is the power hitter in the heart of this lineup. The 1-2 is just a bit outside and low. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and a bat that is dragged on a little bit here for Lucas Kelly, and the fans starting to get a little anxious to try and see him put a batter away here. Hankins on with a leadoff single, nobody out, 2-2, top of the fifth. Pitch, swing and a miss. He goes high with a changeup, and Mikey Bell is set down swinging out of his shoes for the first out of the fifth. Kelly's first out of the game, and the second strikeout for Bell on his line today. Brings up the first baseman, Tommy Eisenstadt. Scored the first run for Gonzaga last inning. In just his third start of the year, trying to do some damage. A hard throw to first, and Tobias just a little late with the tag on Hankins. Gonzaga as a team has only stolen 2 bases all year. ASU 29 entering this series, and yet the runner goes. The pitch popped up behind the plate. Does Briggs have space? No, it's going to hit the stands. It was caught by a fan right on the fly with a hat. Some impressive glove or hat work, just not by the guy who was able to make the out, Brody Briggs. So it's a foul ball, and the count 0-1 here to Eisenstadt. Lefty hitting first baseman, former honorable mention all-conference last year. Hits a foul ball hard and back of home plate. This one more of a line drive, less of an opportunity for anybody to catch it. So the count is 0-2.
On today's edition of Cronkite Sports Live, it's a spring fling with Sun Devil baseball undefeated on opening weekend. Now a new challenge comes to Phoenix Muni. We're going to meet the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles. It's the biggest game Tempe has seen in a decade. We've got full coverage of ASU and BYU for a path to the Big 12 championship. And it's crunch time for a top 10 volleyball squad. They move towards postseason play. We're bringing you a 5-course meal of Sun Devil athletics right now. It's a mammoth weekend here in Tempe, and by Sunday, ASU might be a win away from the Big 12 championship game. Welcome to Studio 6. Aiden Blanc, Gabby Chernoff, another week of Cronkite Sports Live. Do you have your tickets for Saturday? Sun's out, cameras are on, and CSL is a go for this Friday edition from Studio 6. One of the most anticipated seasons in program history begins at the Cathedral of College Basketball. We're just off Tobacco Road for CSL on the road from Cameron Indoor Stadium, an exhibition coming up on Sunday night between Arizona State and Duke. Arizona State also back in the pool, and they're back with a 2-time Olympic bronze medalist. Sophomore sensation Ilya Karun with some pretty impressive numbers in the season opener against UNLV, right up at the top of the national rankings in all 3 of his individual events. And it's clear he's only building on an already historic career. Alan Judson has more. Second quarter, Sam Levitt evading pressure, finding Tyson back of the end zone, some toe drag swag on that one, and he let the crowd hear it in Manhattan. Near the end of the half, we're gonna go to Sam Levitt again. He dumps it to Shimon Mateer, and all of a sudden, ASU is up 21-0. Taking a look at Dom Pasella. Dom, big weekend coming up for ASU. First weekend headlined by the hitting. Surprise, surprise. They've always been hot in the Bloomquist era. Who stood out in the box on opening weekend? Splitting the weekend at Air Force, not the way that Arizona State wanted to start their season on the ice, but a second chance at a first impression comes this weekend as they host 10th-ranked Michigan in their first home games of the year. Greg Powers spoke earlier this week about maintaining mental toughness over the next few months. To break it all down, let's bring in WCSN men's basketball reporter George Lund. And George, we'll start with the most experienced of these players. These senior transfers have really come in and hit the ground running. Bryn has brought it all season long. The Texas A&M transfer has stood out in her second season in Tempe, currently sitting second on the team in assists and leading the charge defensively. Andres Armentas sat down with the redshirt freshman to hear her story. Opening weekend hockey action, Arizona State at Air Force. There goes Luke Potter. Blink and you miss him. Big win on opening night. ASU did lose game 2 of that series, and now they're back home. That playoff push continues on the ice, and here's how it will break down. On the pairwise front, which will determine who makes the NCAA tournament, Arizona State is searching for as many points as possible to try and secure an at-large bid to the dance. On the NCHC front, things get a bit more tricky because Western Michigan wins the regular season title if they sweep twice in regulation this weekend. If not, then things will come down to the final 2 weekends of play heading into the conference tournament. For more on the path to the postseason, here's Eric List. Seems to be a little bit up in the air as to who's taking that position. Saw multiple guys in there on opening weekend. What's happening behind the plate? Baseball, softball, hockey, hoops, wherever you're going, we appreciate you spending some time on this Friday with us. For Max Cepeda, I'm Aiden Blanc. So long from Studio 6, back next week with another edition of Cronkite Sports Live. So long.
Bradley, Love, Del Orso, Townsend, and Awaka are the starters for Tommy Lloyd's Arizona Wildcats. Mason, Freeman, Miller, Jihad, and Quaintance, with 2 new additions, the 5 on the floor for Bobby Hurley, and the 12-8 Arizona State Sun Devils, 3-6 in the Big 12. They have won 2 Quad 1 games, one of them at a neutral site, one of them on the road. They could get a third here today. It would be their first at home.
Yeah, it just bolsters your resume when you get more big wins, and that's what you have to do here.
Arizona in their road dark blues. They have white letters and red numbers with a white outline. The shorts, that signature Block A logo. They've gone very vintage lately. It says Cats down the side. The Sun Devils coming out in their home golds. It's maroon lettering and numbering with a white trim, and Sparky perched right on the thigh. Here we go, Tobey Awaka tipping it up against Jaden Quaintance. JQ missing his first game of the season, but he's back, and so are we. Game of the week underway on Blaze Radio with the Wildcats winning the tip and moving left to right. Townsend, angle right, works it over for Del Orso, opposite end. High-low entry for Townsend, works on the block and feeds it back around for Jaden Bradley. Bradley stops at the Big 12 logo, up top for Caleb Love. Everyone gets a touch, and they work it into the corner. Spin move for Townsend, down just off the black. He fires it a little too strong, clanks off back iron. Rebound snagged by Jaden Quaintance. Sun Devils' first trip down in the first half.
That was good defense there from ASU. They're going to have to keep that up.
Mason matched up with Bradley. Moves between the circles, stops at the pitchfork logo. Works near side Jihad, back to Mason. Beyond the perimeter. High-low entry for Freeman, had it tipped away, but it's right into the hands of Mason at the top of the key. Mason starts his drive, 2 to shoot, gets it up off the free throw line, it clanks out. Long rebound, snatched by Tobey Awaka. Both teams empty on their first trip of the game. Awaka for Bradley, rotated to Love, now for Del Orso. Playing catch to Love again, curls to the free throw line, steps to the high hashes, throws a ball up that slides off the rim, out of bounds, and it was tipped away by a Wildcat. Arizona State basketball. Wildcats go 0 for 2 to start this game.
If you're ASU, I like how they're keeping Arizona to the perimeter. Don't let him crash in. Don't get him let him get into the key. Keep him out wide.
Mason has it for the Devils, moving right to left. Picked up by Bradley. Keeps his dribble and finds JQ. First touch for Quaintance in 2 games. Underhand toss for BJ Freeman. Curls to the free throw line. First touch for him in 2 games as well. He lofted it down low, and there was an off-ball foul. Gets called against the Arizona Wildcats. It goes on Anthony Del Orso, the first for Arizona. And the Sun Devils get the ball baseline right. Mason, the catalyst, fires it up top. Freeman turns around and makes the catch. Now a high-low entry, Jihad working towards the low hashes. Spins down to the block, stops, pivots, throws it up too strong. Didn't hit any of the rim. Wildcats move in transition. Bradley left wing. Rotated to Del Orso at the free throw line. Kick to the corner, shot fake Love. Drives, fires it back away. Long 3 from Del Orso, pops out. Devils get the rebound. No points over 60 seconds in. Far corner, Jihad lofts up a 3. He clicks it home. Bashir Jihad, one of the most consistent parts of this offense in recent games, gets the Devils on the board. 3-0 Arizona State, 17:37 to play.